your second assignment, and on the module that we've been really focusing on the core administrative skills that are required within the fire service and EMS service, or let's say emergency services. And the first part, it's a 5-part question or 5-part assignment, and the first part is one that is really, I think, important in today's world. And really it's dealing with funding, looking at your suggestions, how to become more efficient, effective by reducing the funding. And I'm going to put on a caveat because of my personal experience. Our department went through a funding where all city departments had to cut back 5%. And although what actually ended up happening is the police and fire departments jointly went to city manager and said, you know, we feel that that's a little bit unfair because of the emergency nature of our business. The upshot was that we could cover the funding shortfall through either reduction of budget, increase revenues into the budget, which is tough for a fire service, or a combination thereof of the two. So I'll let you also look at ways to increase revenues, but with that there's a caveat: it has to be realistic. Also, your analysis of where you could reduce has to be realistic also. And then the second part of the question is, how does your organization budget translate to a plan of action? And budgets drive organizations. So how does your budget drive what you do? And what's the accountability in it? Do you have a system where in some organ departments, for example, you are able to, as an officer, spend up to a certain amount of money through a credit card when you feel that there's a specific need meeting your guidelines. Then we get into really, I think, a very, very important area, and that's identifying 3 ways that your organization can become more customer friendly and more effective in communicating with the general public. Many departments for many years have had the closed door mentality. We're going to shut our door, don't you come in, and only call us if you need us. And we know that that doesn't work very well in an era where we're all accountable. Revenues are tougher to come by, and as a result there's more critical examination of what do you do and how do you do it. One of the best ways is being a little bit more customer friendly, and some people in the fire service have difficulty with that terminology. But if we look at our community as customers and potential customers, might be a neat way of sort of analyzing, taking a look. Then the 4th area is take a look at, through the legislative rising from the state level to either county or fire district or city regulations and amendments and resolutions as to how you're legally able to do what you do. And we really do need to have that referenced. Now that usually is, I'd say 9 times out of 10, available on the internet and should be properly referenced in your assignment. The final part is taking a look at the management model, and we looked at very briefly closed and open models, and how does your department operate, or does it actually go back and forth depending on situations? So that's sort of the broad parameter. I would also like to mention that there's a section there on format, essay format, assignment format. And they mentioned Diane Hacker's research documentation online. If you go there, where a section that's called the social science, and we look at things, they're doing it in an APA style, and that means cover page, page numbering. The cover page has got the title, module, university, student name, etc. And the proper referencing. And by the way, the reason for referencing is so that if anybody's interested in what you've written as a source of the information you have, it's easily accessible for that person to read. So in other words, if I read it, it's easy for me to then access what reference you have if I'm interested in that reference. Have fun. This is really heart of administration. Take care. Bye now.